2023 is going to be an exciting, fantastic football year in the Pac-12. The conference is stacked at the quarterback position, and they got a lot of impactful transfer players out of the transfer portal. We're going to be going through some of the lists provided by David Cobb at CBS Sports earlier today, and also we're going to be talking about Dennis Dodd's article from CBS Sports just released. Yes, Brett Yormark is in pursuit of Gonzaga in UConn. He's courting UConn. Welcome to episode 234 of College Football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Pflugar. We cover everything in college football because we love everything in college football. And if you do as well, please subscribe to our ever-growing channel. Smash that like button if you like our content. Share the video with your family and friends. Let's first get into the transfers. The impactful top transfers of the Pac-12 football transfers. Colorado's dynamic duo, DJ Ungale, among the newcomers set to make instant impact. Again, David Cobb from CBS Sports. In 2022, first-year coaches at Oregon, USC, and Washington utilized the transfer portal to bring in high-caliber quarterbacks and provide much-needed jolts for the Pac-12 premier programs. Now, 3 more teams hope for a similar road to success, with Arizona State, Colorado, and Stanford welcoming new regimes after falling to a combined 7-29 last season. Arizona State and Colorado are leaning heavily on transfers to reinvigorate their rosters, with Arizona State at 29 so far and Colorado at a whopping 49 transfers and counting, according to 247 Sports. The Buffalo's unprecedented roster overhaul under Deion Sanders dominated the college football news cycle for months. The offseason hype has ratcheted up anticipation as fans clamor for a glimpse of what Sanders can produce in his first season at Colorado. The bus transformation has been well documented as the 2020 season approaches, but there are transfers ready to make an instant impact across the Pac-12 landscape. In fact, some of the players who left Colorado amid the program's coaching transition have stayed in the league and will face their old team in the season ahead. As the countdown to kickoff inches closer, oh boy, PATC cannot wait for this football season to start. As the countdown to kickoff inches closer, let's look at the Pac-12's top 5 transfers who are ready to shine right away at their new homes, followed by an examination of the top transfer from each of the remaining team in the league. We're just going to hit the top 5 transfers. The rest of the article you can read. You can read in the link provided in the description box. Let's get to the top 5 transfers coming in for the Pac-12 Conference 2023 season. Of course, Colorado wide receiver, cornerback, Travis Hunter. Hunter famously flipped from Florida State to Sanders and Jackson State during the 2022 recruiting cycle. So the top recruit from the class has finally headed to the Power 5 stage. Now, Travis Hunter, we're going to see him. He's going to pop off the screen. Colorado starts the season with TCU, then Nebraska. Fox, big noon games. Travis Hunter, watch for him. He's the biggest transfer at the Pac-12 of all the schools. Oregon State quarterback DJ Ungale. The former Clemson quarterback is getting a fresh start after things grew stale over 2 years started with the Clemson Tigers. Oregon State coach Jonathan Smith is a former quarterback himself and a respected offensive mind who might be able to unlock more of the potential Ungale showed as a 5-star prospect and the number 2 overall player in the class of 2020. Now, I don't quite have the same optimism as the Oregon State Beaver fans. A lot of people in the PATC community, in the chat room, they all believe that DJ Ungale will be able to move the needle for Oregon State. Oregon State was a very good team last year. Really good running back coming back. They were the second best defense in the Pac-12 last year. They're going to be good on defense this year. Will DJ be able to move the needle just a little bit more so Oregon State can get into the Pac-12 championship game? We shall see one of the most interesting storylines coming into the 2023 season in the Pac-12 conference. Colorado quarterback Shedeur Sanders. Sanders made it clear from his first day of the job that his son will be the Buffalo signal caller in 2023, but this isn't just a case of nepotism. Shedeur Sanders, if you watch his tape, if you watch him at Jackson State, doesn't have the biggest, doesn't have the strongest arm. It is not an arm. It is not a cannon of an arm. No question about that. Now, he moves great in the pocket. Of course, he has great mobility. And what I was impressed with in that spring game, I know we can't overanalyze the spring games, but he seemed to process the field pretty well. He seemed to know his dad's offense, right? Of course, they have a new offense coming in. But anyways, Shedeur Sanders should be interesting. I don't think he's going to be a superstar in the conference, but a real good quality Pac-12 quarterback. Arizona State quarterback Drew Pine, the transfer coming in from Notre Dame. First year coach Kenny Dillingham quickly upgraded Arizona State's quarterback room by landing the former Notre Dame starter Drew Pine and touted freshman Jaden Rashada. Now, Drew Pine is a great pickup for Arizona State. He did very well for Notre Dame, 8-2 as a starter. He doesn't have the highest ceiling, but he has a pretty decently high floor. He doesn't have the physical attributes maybe as a top quarterback in college football, but he's a smart dude. He processes the field real well. Drew Pine will know. He will know Kenny Dillingham's offense. Great pickup by Arizona State. Very impactful. Very good start to the Kenny Dillingham era at Arizona State. USC wide receiver Dorian Singer. We talked about him earlier today in an earlier episode of 233. Dorian Singer is the real deal. Holyfield came from St. Paul, Minnesota, started his career at Arizona, transferred to USC. Once again, USC picks up a big-time wide receiver in the transfer portal. That is going to help. Lincoln Riley gets another toy in the transfer portal. And then there are other players, Jordan Birch, Oregon. Running back Dylan Johnson, Washington. Miles Battle, cornerback going from Utah, from Ole Miss. Washington State picks up a wide receiver, Kyle Williams, from UNLV. California picks up a cornerback from UNLV, Noah Williams. And Arizona picks up a wide receiver from Colorado. And USC picks up a wide receiver from Cal, within the conference, Michael Studevant, who's going to help that offense out. And Stanford picks up an offensive lineman, Trevor Mayberry, from the Ivy League. Stanford, it's very difficult for them to pick up transfer from people in the transfer portal, but they succeeded. They got a really good player. The son of former Pro Bowl center Tony Mayberry comes in as a projected starter for the Cardinals in 2023. So those are your top impactful transfers that are coming into the Pac-12. It's going to be an exciting year. Now, the Pac-12 may be having a hard time getting a media contract, but for the 2023 football season, it's going to be fun to watch. No question about it. Let's get to Dennis Dodd's article just released. Inside the Big 12 pursuit of Gonzaga, UConn, as Brett Yormark aims to increase the league's basketball dominance. Whether Yormark has the support from the rest of the Big 12 remains to be seen. Just like we did in an episode earlier today, 233, where the Big 12, there's some resistance to Brett Yormark's pursuit of Gonzaga in Utah. This talks about the inside of the Big 12 pursuit from Dennis Dodd. We're going to skip a couple paragraphs. You can read the whole thing in a link provided in the description box. Navigate evaluated how the nation's top basketball programs ranked against Power 5 conference opponents in regular season play over the last 3 years with a metric called TV Power. Gonzaga is surprisingly 5th on the list. Now, Navigate is right. They're one of the organizations that Yormark is going to evaluate potential Big 12 expansion candidates. And Gonzaga was 5th on this list, this metric called TV Power, behind Duke, Kentucky, North Carolina, and Kansas, but ahead of Ohio State, Michigan, Michigan State, Arkansas, and Tennessee, which rounded out the top 10. That's a very good number for Gonzaga. Back to the article. Blue blood, Gonzaga, small sample size, all of it is still up for debate, but the Zags' worth is reflected in the Big 12's shift of priorities. While the league's interest in recruiting the Pac-12 teams remains, and those are the top priorities, no question about it, adding Gonzaga basketball only and UConn full membership is dominating the league conversations. And we've talked about it at Peek Around the Corner. There is legit interest in UConn. It's just not a negotiating ploy by Brett Yormark. He truly is interested in UConn. It's not just about getting leverage on the four corner schools in the Pac-12. Brett Yormark from the Northeast, he wants Big 12 to be able to tell a story all the way from New York in the New York region, Northeast, all the way to California. And UConn is part of his plan. Now you see it's UConn, full membership. UConn wouldn't be interested if it wasn't for full membership. Gonzaga, basketball only. That's why we here at Peek Around the Corner believe that Gonzaga is a little bit behind UConn when it comes to the interest of Brett Yormark, when it comes to the pursuit of Brett Yormark. Brett Yormark is courting UConn, pursuing Gonzaga. Back to the article. We won't go through the whole thing. Again, a link will be provided in the description. The Big 12 continues to wait for the Pac-12 to reveal a new media rights deal figured to its members before taking the next step in that pursuit. Meanwhile, the league has been more aggressive lately in pursuing their basketball interests, especially after last week's Big 12 spring meetings. Commissioner Brett Yormark reiterated that expansion has been discussed. The situation was further described to CBS Sports this way. There has been a mutual admiration at the presidential level between Gonzaga and the Big 12. However, there is stronger momentum for UConn to join the league than Gonzaga at the moment. That's the money shot of this article. That is the money shot of this article. And we've been saying, if you've been following Peek Around the Corner for weeks, in our PATC theater, UConn is sitting there in the 20th row. And Gonzaga is just in the front foyer. They came back in the building. There was a while that they went in the car and they drove off. Now they've come back and they've entered the front foyer. Yes, there is interest in Gonzaga, but there is legit interest, a legit courting of UConn from Brett Yormark. Now, UConn has to wait. They have to see how the dominoes fall before them. But there should be no more question, because we've gotten a lot of them at Peek Around the Corner, and that's fine. That's great. That's what we do here on this YouTube channel, college football YouTube channel. But there is legit interest, a legit courting going on for Brett Yormark, trying to get the Big 12 presidents on board to take in UConn as a full member. Will UConn get the opportunity? Will the dominoes fall or not fall according to what they need to get an invite from the Big 12? We shall wait and see. They do not control their own destiny, UConn. So we shall see what the four corner schools do at Pac-12. Buckle up, brace for impact, stick with us here at PATC. Until next time, from all of us at Peek Around the Corner to all of you, please, you all take great care of each other. Thank you so very much.